keep it.
Dashel Robert Parr, you are an incredibly competitive boy and a bit of a show-off. The last thing you need is temptation.
You always say, do your best, but you don't really mean it. Why can't I do the best that I can do?
Right now, honey, the world just wants us to fit in, and to fit in, we just gotta be like everybody else.
But Dad always said our powers were nothing to be ashamed of. Our powers made us special.
Everyone's special, Dash.
Which is another way of saying no one is.
We are not all special. Some people are just better than others. It's unlikely that a hockey team will win the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row by sheer luck. You can safely say they were the better team that year. Same thing with people. It's just some people are better than others, whether it be a trade or a skill, communication, business.
So, we have it in us to be the better man. We already are.
If we were all special, no one would be. You think that would be common sense, but a lot of people share this negative attitude towards people who are a little more successful than they are. And then they feel like they deserve a cut for breathing the same oxygen as these people. Oh, they just got lucky. Oh, they just knew the right people. Oh, they just screwed over a bunch of people and ripped them off. That's how they got where they are. I sat down with a gentleman when I was working in insurance. We're trying to find a better health plan for him. Being that we're independent, we're able to find the best company for his health coverage. He could get full health coverage for $300 less a month than what he is paying currently. He didn't want to switch. And so we made a point that one of the reasons why they maintain a good rating and are able to stay on top of the charts is because they pay out claims. And they have a number of assets in order to do so, because they know how to invest wisely. Well, then the guy just turned and said, well, wait, you just told me they're worth millions of dollars. How do you think they got that money? By screwing over a bunch of people. Right, this guy who plowed for 30 years and worked odd jobs all his life, you just got it figured out, didn't you? They just fuck over a bunch of people. Nothing keeps you in business longer than by not paying out claims, paying huge government fines, and not to mention word of mouth spreading. That's the only way you can get successful in this world, is just by fucking over a bunch of people. Even I had this attitude for the longest time, like, oh yes, rich, successful people are just out to get you. They're out to betray you every step of the way. And I'm all for the 99%. That's a whole other bag of worms altogether. It's a whole different category. For us, normal people, the opportunity's there, we just have to be able to make the right decisions to obtain it. Someone who makes $100,000 a year is not better than you or me, but they sure as hell made some good decisions when it came to their careers and their own lives. They work just as hard, if not harder, than someone who works at a factory or makes a living digging ditches. The main difference is between digging ditches and someone who's really successful and is able to get a little further ahead is that one decision to do some things that not everyone can do, be it sales, managing a business, owning your own business, art, any kind of trade or skill not everyone can do or knows about, mechanic, tuner. I worked as a stock boy for Walmart at midnights and then at a sawmill for $8 an hour. Can't really complain about the wages because any half-wit limp-dick piece of shit could have done my job. I pick things up and I put them down, pick things up and put them down, pick things up and put them down. And really, where would I be going working for peanuts? Nowhere. There's hard work everyone can do, and hard work not everyone can do. See the value proposition there? And yes, some people are complacent working at Walmart, or especially Meijer, because Meijer is such a great company and all. But when I met people that did those sorts of things until they turned 70 fuck years old, I just saw, wow, what a bunch of wasted potential. And it's funny too, because when I hear wasted potential, I always think of pro-lifers when they talk about abortion and birth control, condoms, masturbation. You know, there's plenty of wasted potential out there. And it didn't come in an ejaculation that got flushed down the toilet. And really, though they are responsible for their own fates, we do have to face facts here. We do live in a society that's designed to try to keep people stagnant at where they are. Why not better yourself so you can take on trips, fund some charities, or even go out to dinner once in a while? Well, I don't need those things to be happy, so I'm just going to work my peon job where I clock in, clock out, stock shelves, do customer service. I don't want to be a manager because that's just more work for me to do, even though I get paid a little more, but I don't need any of that stuff to be happy. Right, like, well, that's nice, but happiness comes and goes, whether you're rich or poor, does it not? Think of the future on the path you're on right now. Don't like where it's going? Change it. Or better yet, picture where you'd like to be 30, 40, 50 years from now. Now, figure out how to get there. I got some tips from people over the years I've been working. Do some things that not everyone can do. Winners do what losers refuse to do. Work extra time, work at home. Put in the extra effort. And here I see some things holding people back. Religion's one of them. It's much easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. What the fuck does that even mean? We could speculate that till the end of time. Is that supposed to bring comfort to disenfranchised minorities, people who have a disadvantage from birth? Anyone basically who is not white, straight, and American? Is this supposed to bring comfort to less fortunate people, people who may have ran into some bad luck, a health event, they didn't have proper coverage, or fuck, their financial advisor screwed them out of a bunch of money and they lost all of it? People who have to decide between bread and gas, is that passage supposed to bring comfort to some people? Yeah, get fucking real. Yeah, it gets better, everybody, after you die. To me, that passage comes off as, oh yeah, your life might be shit now, so don't worry about it though. You can eat your scraps of food to survive and barely afford your rent, because guess what? You believe in Jeebus, so after you die, you get to go to heaven. It gets better, everybody, after you die and go to heaven. That should be the counter argument from Christians when it comes to it gets better. It gets better, kiddies, after you die, because you get to live in eternal bliss in heaven. Heh, who cares about this life? Don't worry about those man behind the curtains or those people on the pedestal above you. Nah, they have the hardest job of all, trying to get into heaven. You know, there's other people out there that will try to affect you negatively, whether they think they are or not. They might not even realize it. Oh, why are you working so hard? Oh, you never come out with us anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get one thing straight. I envy WoW players. People who are able to spend 60 to 70 hours a week on a video game. Shit, I'm not saying those people are losers at all. I wish I could be complacent, clocking in and clocking out, and coming home and essentially doing nothing. But I can't. I have to come home and do something with myself. I have to spend the time doing something constructive, otherwise I'll go fucking loony. If I played every Facebook game I got invited to, this video itself would take 30 fucking years to make. You know, priorities. Sacrifice is inevitable. We're going to have to sacrifice time with friends, family, play now, play later, or play now and pay later. But your true friends, they'll understand, they'll support you all the way, and the ones that are not, shit. You'll drift apart from them, you'll be surprised how quickly you can lose touch with them. Some you might lose altogether. Some of the people I worked with, who were, up further in the chain a little bit, they lost some friends because their friends considered them stuck up. Stuck up because they're talking about how they're, trying to decide what car they should get, or what house they should buy, or, where they should take the family. Like, it's bad for them to talk about some nice things that are happening in their life. Now, instead they should be probably bitching about the niece down the street because she's cheating on her boyfriend with such and such. Even my last career as an insurance agent, I got some flack too. Going to a bar with a suit on, "Where's the funeral?" I had a few people after they saw, what career I'm in, they would say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Sorry for what? Or better yet, I had some people that just came up to me and said, "Oh, you work for insurance? Why? What do you do? Just take people's money?" Yeah, I just take people's money. Just, sign them up for a plan, take their money, give them my business cards with my name on it so they can tell all their friends about me too when they could be about me taking their money. But yeah. No, I'm sorry. I actually protect their estate, protect their health, so that it doesn't get drained to the point where they have to rely on state aid in order to survive. Because people like you are sure as fuck not going to do it. "Oh, you think you're better than me because you make more money than me? Because you have all these great ideas and you're on a camera and talking and shit? You think you're better than me? Nah, nah, nah." Yeah. Am I? Am I better? The answer to that question should always be no. And if it bothers you that much that someone like, I don't know, Ray William Johnson gets a lot of fame, or someone else that gets a lot of flack, like Angry Video Game Nerd, you don't like him, yet you are boggled by how many people like him, you hate him so much, then, fucking do something better. And it's not just to take someone like them down a notch, prove it to yourself, more importantly. Instead of making throwaway comments or having all this fucking bar talk where you get drunk and you talk about all these great ideas that you have, like, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it's going to be so fucking great," and then after you sober up, you practically forget everything you talked about, not to mention lose all motivation to do it. I don't know how many times where I've had ideas discussed with friends, and, we're drinking together at their house, and we talk about how great this is going to be, and then the next day I call them up like, "Hey, you ready to do that thing? You ready to do that video that we planned? Let's get together and do it." I either get ignored or they're busy doing other things. And I'm by no means where I'd like to be right now. I'm struggling just like the rest of them with the overdraft fees and the bank account and just trying to squeak by when it comes to the rent and the food. Sometimes neither. But I'm working my way towards something better. I see it, and I see it's possible, and I know it's possible, and I've eliminated all the self-doubt that would hold me back. Everyone that I worked with that is where they'd like to be is working towards being beyond where they would like to be. And they all started in humble settings, whether they living in a basement that's 55 degrees, or having to live with 3 other roommates in a house. They've all come from situations like that. It was not handed to them from the sky. It's very unlikely that's going to happen to you or me. And one of the dominant attitudes I had in my mind for years growing into adulthood came from other workers and peers was that, I've heard things like, when it came to art or things like this, "That's a very competitive world, Andrew. I don't know if you could actually do that." Or better yet, "I don't think that's going to work out. How many people attempt that and fail and never make anything for themselves?" Or, "I had dreams like that too once, and then I got married and had a few kids and had to pay the bills and stuff like that, so it's kind of holding me down." I kid you not, I've heard all this shit, and I wrongfully let it affect me. I was lazy in my own passions, and I think it showed related to how much work I actually got done. The reality is, I was taking advice from unqualified people. How could I take career advice from people who don't have a career? And it's not that they were bad people. They just weren't qualified people who were, in turn, trying to look out for my best interest. So here I am, trying to make content and work, and having all these silly self-doubts in my mind, like in the back of my mind, a little whisper in my head, like, "Oh, this is going to suck. It's not going to turn out the way you want it to be. Blah, blah, this. You're wasting your time. You probably should fall back on something else." Fuck that shit now. And really, would you take business advice from someone who owns a business, who runs their own business, or from someone who stocks shelves at Walmart? Me giving someone business advice while I was stocking shelves at Walmart could have been followed up by the words, well, how's that working out for you? How's that advice working out for you working here at Walmart stocking shelves right now? Any hopes or dreams of getting ahead a little bit in life? How's going home after you're done stocking shelves and playing 3 hours of Aliens vs. Predator 2 because you're just so tuckered out from work? How's that working out for you? You get the point? You get the point I'm getting at here? Wouldn't matter if my advice was good. It wouldn't hold any water compared to someone who is where they want to be or need to be. Someone who is qualified. And that's something more people need to seek to become. Qualified. Myself included.